Alright, hello everyone. This is NHA37 from Top Deck MTG, and I'm here for some Pioneer. It's a newish format that has been around for a little bit. Wizards announced it about 2 months ago, and I'm excited to be making this channel's first video about it. So I wanted to start it off with something that was a bit of a brew. I actually just brewed this up a few hours ago, so I'm really excited to play it. The deck list should be right over here. So if you want to take a look, there it is. But we'll talk about it really quick. This is Green Black Aggro, is what I've called it. The Mono Black Aggro deck has been something that has been part of this format for a long time, and I kind of wanted just to take my little bit of a spin on it because that deck was very good, but it lost the card Smuggler's Copter. And even though it's still doing very good in its mono black iteration, I thought adding green to it would give us a nice few little extra toys to play with, and it might be what this deck is looking for to really bust it open. So let's break it down. Starting with the one drops, we have 4 Fatal Push, obviously premium removal in this format. Doesn't really get better. Very, very good. Only 2 copies of Gutterbone, so differing from the mono black list is we have different one drops, as you're going to see down here in green. So we're not running the full 4 gutter bones, and we're not running blood soak champions. But we want to run 2 gutter bones. It's a nice one drop to play, and it also works very well with card talk a little later, Grim Flare. But we only want 2. This is, as I should say, you see V1, that stands for version 1. So maybe I'll be doing some more videos of this deck in the future, but this is just the very first iteration. This league is going to be all about testing what's good and what's not, so happy to take you along with me. But yeah, 2 Gutter Bones, 4 Another Ebon Legion. This is just the best one drop in Pioneer right now, in black. Just an absolutely insane card, works very well with the rest of the deck, very good aggro, and just it's very good in the late game as well. Just super good card. 4 copies of Thoughtseize, just incredibly good. 1 mana, discard a card. Losing 2 life could also be relevant, as notably Knight of the Ebon Legion is any player lost 4 more life. So let's say we go turn 1 Knight of the Ebon Legion, we go turn 2 Thoughtseize, or turn 2 Shockland plus Thoughtseize, that's 4 life, which is enough to pump up Knight of the Ebon Legion. And while we're not really intentionally doing that, that is something that we're able to do that the mono black deck doesn't really have, aside from just casting 2 Thoughtseizes. So that's pretty cool. And then 4 copies of Experiment 1. This card's absolutely insane. There's a choice between this card and the card Pelt Collector. Basically the same card, except Pelt Collector also triggers when a creature with greater power and toughness dies, and it gets trampled if there's power 4 greater. Don't really know if that's better than Experiment 1 yet, but Experiment 1 has the ability to remove 2 1/1 counters and regenerate. So that's pretty good. So I'm gonna run with Experiment 1 right now, just for sheer testing purposes. But basically the whole curve of this deck was basically, so we go turn 1, Experiment 1, into turn 2 like Grim Flare, or Skype Scrounger into turn 3 Dread Mangler. And that's just kind of the dream. Beat them down really fast, and honestly, in my eyes, it's just like a lot better than the traditional mono black. But getting to 2 drops, 2 copies of Abrupt Decay. This is another reason why I believe Green Black has just kind of a strict upgrade over mono black, is they have Grasp of Darkness, which is a pretty good 2-mana removal spell. But Abrupt Decay obviously is a lot better most of the time. Obviously, cards like Grasp of Darkness can take down something like a Glorybringer, while Abrupt Decay cannot. But Abrupt Decay can deal with a lot of other stuff. So very happy to run it. We're just running the full 4 Abrupt Decays. Grim Flare. This card's pretty much insane. Very, very good 2-drop that can be a 4/4 with trample. We have 5 different types. We have instant, creature, land, artifact, and sorcery and Thoughtseize. So not the hardest thing to make Grim Flare a 4/4 delirium, but also not the easiest thing either, but still a very, very good card. And something that you'll notice in the mono black deck is they have a very lack of 2-drops. So that's why they have a lot more 1-drops. They're running 4 Bloodsoaked Champions, 4 Gutter Bones, 4 Knight of the Ebon Legion. And they're also running 4 Scrappy Scrounger, a very, very good card that we're also running here. But they just don't have the extra 2-drop. So I really like having this deck. We get Grimflare, which is not only a really good 2-drop, just in general, but it's another good 2-drop for our curve, and works really well with Experiment 1. Getting to 3 drops, we have the full 4 Murderous Rider. I'm a little apprehensive about running 4 of these. It's a lot of Murderous Rider. This card is very, very good, don't get me wrong, but To be seen if 4 is really necessary, or if we can trim down to 1, 2, or 3. I was thinking 2 at first, but we need some more creatures, so I decided, you know what, let's go up to the full 4 of these. Obviously, very good card. Swift End is just a removal spell. Losing to life also, once again, works with Knight of the Ebon Legion, and it's just a 2/3 lifelink, very good against burn, but not the worst. And then we have this card. You might not have seen this card before. This is Dragon Mangler, 1 black green for a 3/3 with haste, and also has this ability called Scavenge. This is a ability from Return to Ravnica for the Golgari clan that you can exile from your graveyard and you put counters on creature equal to its power. Obviously, Dragon Mangler is a 3/3, so we can spend 5 mana, exile from our graveyard, and put 3 counters on a creature. Very, very strong ability in the late game. Plus, having it as a 3/3 with haste makes it just a brutal curve. Like I said earlier, if we were to go turn 1, Experiment 1, into turn 2, Grimflare or Scrap Scrounger, to turn 3, Dread Mangler on the play, that's just a lot of damage coming in. So I really like this card. It's not really seeing any play whatsoever, and this card isn't amazing. Like it's very okay, but it's one of those cards where you look at it and you think, this kind of has some potential. It did see some standard play when it was legal and standard. So I wanted to give this card a run. It seems this just seems like the best shell for it as well. So pretty cool. And then we have 2 copies of Rankle, Master of Pranks. It's a legendary card, so you don't want 4. Plus, it's 4-drop, but it's very good to top the curve here. It's between this and Kalitas for the top, but this having haste and just being able to combo very well with cards like Scrappy Scrounger and Gutter Bones. Plus, it also kind of works well with Dread Mangler. We could discard it or sacrifice it and put counters on it on the Rankles and tap for more damage. Obviously, Rankle, very good card, but just 2 of him. So, yep. Mana base, we have 4 Blooming Marsh, which is the premier green-black land for this deck. Enters untapped, very nice. 2 copies of Castle Lochthwain. Very good card draw engine in the late game. Once again, like losing life isn't a big deal, so pretty good. It enters untapped, we control Swamp. That's why we have 1 copy of Urborg in this deck. So it's not the hardest thing for the center untapped. We only want 2 of them because we don't really foresee activating more than 2 of them at a time anyways, and there are going to be games where this enters tapped, and we really want to avoid having to miss our curve because we have a tap land. We have 1 basic forest in case of cards like Assassin's Trophy or Subtle Wreckage. Plus, it's also nice to just have 1 basic forest, in there. 4 copies of Llanowar Waste, just another green-black dual land that enters untapped. This might be wrong, as I said earlier, first iteration of the deck. I was just kind of looking for green-black lands. This one's fine, works well with Knight of the Ebon Legion, but I could definitely see games where we end up losing a lot because we have Llanowar Waste as one of our lands, and we don't have a lot of cards in this deck that require non-colored mana. Like there's the 2 mana off of Rankle, the 1 mana off of Murderous Rider and Scrappy Scrounger, both activation and casting, of course. And then there's like Scavenge and stuff like that. So could be seen whether the 4 Llanowar Waste is correct or not, but I don't know. I think it's worth testing. We have 4 copies of Overgrown Tomb, obviously probably just the best green-black land in the entire format. It's Shockland, so very good. 3 basic swamps because black mana is important. 1 copy of Urborg to turn on those Castle Lochthwains and make these Llanowar Wastes maybe a little less painful. And we have 1 copy of Woodland Cemetery. This is kind of the alternate Llanowar Waste, but obviously the big risk of Woodland Cemetery is if we have a draw that's like double Blooming Marsh or Blooming Marsh Woodland Cemetery, that's going to be really awkward. And as I said earlier, what we really want to avoid is missing our curve because we have tap lands. And that's why I think it's almost worth taking that risk with Llanowar Waste because we're not having to have it enter tapped and miss our curve. Yes, we might be taking damage off of it, but we're still not gonna miss a curve, which we might with Woodland Cemetery. To be seen whether that's right or not, but I think that's fine for the first version. Going into the sideboard here, we only actually have 2 green cards. Scavenging Ooze, very, very good against graveyard-based strategies and against control decks. Even against burn, this card is good to come in, so can't do the sideboard without it. I fiddled with cards such as Unravel the Aether, but seemed unnecessary, but only green cards so far. We have 2 copies of Duress for control. We have 2 copies of Liliana Defeat. This is for the Mono Black Vampires and Mono Black Aggro deck. Very, very good card, just 1 mana removal spell. 2 copies of Blight Beetle. So I should be saying 2 days ago, as of the filming of this video, Oko, Thief of Crowns, and Next to Fate were banned. So decks such as Mono Red and possibly Hardened Scales will be a lot more popular now because Oko and Nexus being Hardened Scales' worst matchup, will probably be a lot more popular. So Blight Beetle, very, very good in shutting them down. Plus, it just has protection from green, so against the green decks that are planning to play turn 2 Lovestruck Beast or Yorvo, this just blocks them all day. So not bad. Plus, it does have protection from green, so a little bit of a nombo with something like Dreg Mangler, but it's still good with the rest of the deck, so definitely worth running. Legion's End, 2 more on the sideboard. This is for the weenie matchups, aggro, mono red, obviously very good. Noxious Grass, this is very good against humans, white weenie. Also good against those green decks, Lustric Beast decks, Green Devotion. So good there, can destroy Nissa for cheap. And then we have 3 copies of Kalida's Trader of Get. This card's absolutely amazing. Maybe will be in the main deck sometime in the future, just a little slow. It doesn't really do anything when it enters the battlefield. Like, it has a board presence, but if they just kill it, it's a little anticlimactic of a card, but still very good in the mirror match against any really creature-based deck because it allows us to get a lot of zombies, exiles their card, and has lifelink, so very, very good against Perm. But yep, that's the deck tech, and yeah, let's hop right into this league. See you for round 1.